Hi, everybody. It's a little, oh, there's the light.
Hello.
Okay. I'm Laura Chandler, the Executive Director of the Foundation of the Sacred Stream, and I'm here with Isa Gucciardi, the Founding Director of the Sacred Stream. And this is just a little impromptu-ish kind of hangout. It's the holidays. We're kind of experimenting here with YouTube and doing a YouTube live. We did a bunch of Facebook lives, and then things got weird with Facebook, and so we're it's kind of fun to be in community. It's fun to be with everybody, and yeah. So if this is fun for you guys, we'll do more of these. How are you doing, Isa?
I'm good. I'm good.
You're good.
I'm
You're good. You have your plant here with you.
Yes, you can see. There's my plant.
This
is pitcher sage.
Yep.
Who has been one of the key features of 2022.
Yeah.
I discovered pitcher sage on our walks near the Sacred Stream Center in Berkeley, and it has the most aromatic smell that you can imagine, and it generally grows in canyons in Southern California.
Mhm.
And so it was far out of its native habitat, but it was clearly growing there on its own because the owners of the plant, it was in someone's yard, weren't watering it or taking care of it, and it decided to grow there. So, during the dry time, I gave it a little water, and we brought it along, and then we found this plant, which I have never seen, and no one has ever seen
At a nursery.
At a nursery, a native plant nursery.
Mhm.
So I bought every one that they had, and I've been making cuttings, and I'm going to make sachets for Christmas, because when you squish it and smell it when it's dry, you have wonderful dreams. You can put it under your pillow. And
so the pitcher sage is here with us.
Yes.
And with you, and
Yes.
and it's always with Isa. So today we thought we would just talk a little bit about what's gone on this year, what's coming up with us at Sacred Stream. We really want to take your questions if you have questions, and kind of look at the past and look at what's coming in the forward scene.
And I think the past year, I think we all could say, has been marked by navigating the unknown in a really big way.
I think that this past year and the past few years have been globally for people quite difficult on a certain level. Not everything has been difficult, but it has been one of constant change. And I think that's kind of the theme that I've heard from people. Not only change externally, which is big, but internally, like a lot of big shifts and realizations. And so it feels quite global.
Yeah. And I think one of the ways that I was trying to describe the way that I was experiencing it, and I was like, it's when you're in the water and the tide's going out from the last wave, but the other wave's coming in, and someone goes, "You mean in the foam?" And I'm like, yeah, in the foam. I feel like, because we don't know, are we free of the pandemic? Are we not free of the pandemic? And, for us, in terms of programming, that's been a really big question, because we did have our first in-person class, and it was wonderful to invite everyone in this cohort that's been meeting online for the last 2 years, and to actually get to meet everyone. And then we offered more in-person classes and live streaming, and no one came. And it was like
it was kind of coming back into when the COVID was starting to spike, and so I think we're just hard to know. I think everything's just landing, and I think people have become comfortable with online formats like this and Zoom, and so we're all evolving, but we will definitely be back in person. It's so wonderful to see everybody and be with everybody. And I just want to also say it's wonderful to be with everybody here, and I want to just acknowledge folks in the chat. Jen Maitreya is in the house, and excited to be here, and we're excited you're here too. And Mary Mew, and glad you're here. Quintessential Roots has a question, and yes, and is asking if the integrated energy medicine class is going to be on the board, and it is indeed on the board right now. It's in the spring in March, I believe. Could be February. I'm pretty sure it's March.
So yeah, Cody, you could put the link to that.
Sure. Oh, yeah. And I want to thank Cody, who's here holding our hands
behind the scenes.
Yeah, he's in Ohio and we're in San Francisco, but
so very behind the scenes.
And Kim Justice is here, and Hello Yoda is here. Thank you guys for being here. And yes, let us know if you have questions. Brenda, hi. And Jessica, Jessica Luke is here. Hello,
Jessica,
my favorite, my Zoom companion, my helper in the class. What a amazing support you are. So thank you for being here.
And Brenda, I know you just got back from Hawaii, or maybe you're still there. I don't know. And if you have any thoughts you'd like to share, of course, we're always interested in things that happen in Hawaii.
Big Island?
Yep. And there's something that happens.
I would love to know how, but I would love to know how the double volcano is.
Yeah, that must have been wonderful to be on the Big Island while that was happening. So,
well, we have some fun things that are going on, and we have props. I did bring some props, and as many of you know, we have Isa is a wonderful herbalist, and has back in your earlier days, you had an herbal company.
My first company,
yeah,
was making herbal products that I wildcrafted and made and drove around to health food stores in New England.
And I don't have the spray.
We do.
You've
right over there. Oh, it's right over there.
Oh, okay, but that's okay. So Isa makes we make a line of space clearing sprays, which are quite popular now, and people use them in all variety of situations, whether they're clearing space in places where you can't burn sage or something. Kids love it for going to sleep at night and kind of clearing their sleep space. And there's some schools that use it, and some hospitals even that use it. And really, it's just nice, like, to have it
Laboring
work.
mothers use it.
Oh, that's true. And and it's kind of nice to have it work. Like when you have that kind of like, difficult coworker, you just kind of like a little bit.
Helps refresh the world.
Yeah. But what we will share with you here, we're really happy with, is we've designed the logo for Isa's Botanicals, which is home for the sprays, and also we hope to be. I'm trying to get her to make some salves.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there.
Okay, so home for more products. But in the meantime, we did these cute little tote bags, which I'm going to share. And look at that. Isn't that sweet? And you see it's a little black handles, and that's Isa's Botanicals. Of course, it's probably backwards for you all, but it's still beautiful. And so that's our new little.
That was one of the big happenings that happened in 2022, is that we took over manufacture from someone else that someone else had been manufacturing for a few years. And I was really happy to get back to manufacturing them myself. And we had a lot of fun choosing the different, tweaking the formulas and trying new things. And it was really, it's really wonderful to be back with the plants in this way. And we get, get very lighthearted when we're doing the work. So, we do a lot of intentional, prayers as we're working. And I personally think that the sprays are, they have a lot of oomph to them, and
they're really lovely.
Yeah. I'm addicted to number 1 right now. I kind of
we move around. There's number 1, number 2, and number 3. And here I'm seeing in the chat that Kim Justice is a mugwort farmer.
Oh, that's
we
wonderful.
Love mugwort.
Oh, mugwort is easy to farm. That's a good plant to farm. That's wonderful. And how the whole place must be very high vibration where you are with all that.
Mm-hmm. And she says that she uses jasmine incense to help her mom with dementia. Sleep.
That's brilliant. What a great idea. I mean, I wonder what the pitcher sage would do for that too. It's interesting because it's very kind of clarifying.
And which spray would be good
for number 1 would be really good for them. And number 2.
Yeah.
And number 2 is great right now because they each have different sets of herbs in them. The number 1 has several different sages and eucalyptus and tea tree. It's a general cleanser. And number 2 is for the season. It has myrrh and frankincense in it, along with bergamot and black tourmaline essence. So that's for clearing deep issues. And then we have another one for the season for a different reason. Number 3 has cottonwood and sandalwood and lime, and it's very settling. So if you want to create kind of a cozy, settled space for your family or friends get-togethers, it's a great thing.
The cottonwood is really interesting.
Yeah.
It's very hard to source. It's very hard to find. And it's just a pretty remarkable thing.
Makes you feel very settled.
Yeah.
And cottonwoods, those of you that live in the Rockies where they grow, that they let go of their little cotton all summer and fall. And it's it's sort of like this magical snow in the summer, So,
and I just want to remind everybody to you can hit the like button if you would, and subscribe, because that actually helps us with our growing the channel, and we're hoping to find more viewers who will be interested in or helped by the content that we share here. And we have a lot of videos on the YouTube channel, and we're kind of getting the hang of it. We're kind of learning about this format that is YouTube, and we have an eclectic kind of grouping of different videos from teachings, some of Isa's teachings and talks, and other teachers like Robert Thurman and Thupten Jinpa, and our dear beloved Geshe Pema Dorje will have a video of him up shortly. And then we also have a lot going on with the podcast. So we've now started doing putting the podcast videos on YouTube. So you can see some of the podcast videos there. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the guests that we've had recently. Right now, Lynn Twist was one of our guests, and you like Lynn Twist.
Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah.
What a person, what a life. Wow.
Yeah. And I'll share her book. I think this is a really fantastic book. Very inspiring book. It's called Living a Committed Life. And that's what we were talking about, finding freedom and fulfillment in a purpose larger than yourself. And I highly recommend the interview. I highly recommend the book. Lynn has worked with everyone from Mother Teresa to Buckminster Fuller to Oprah to Jane Goodall to Desmond Tutu to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and so on and so on. And she's just a very humble and inspiring person. And I'm grateful and glad to be able to have people like Lynn on the podcast, and for us at Sacred Stream to be able to collaborate with people like Lynn who do so much, and who I feel are so aligned with what we do at Sacred Stream. And we haven't finalized it yet, but Lynn, we've talked to Lynn, and she would like to do a book reading at the Sacred Stream Center. So we do in-person
and live streaming,
and we will also live stream it. So I think that will be really, really fantastic. And yes.
Well, another interview that you just did that's going to be aired soon was with Geshe Pema Dorje. And for those of you that were lucky enough to attend his lectures when he was here, you will know that he's a very special man. He is a monk who spends all of his life, all of his efforts raising funds for the different charities that he runs in Nepal, primarily focused on children and helping children sort of get out of sexual trafficking and
abusive
situations and getting them into training programs. And he literally walks the money that he earns when he comes here to give lectures into the villages that are very difficult to get to. So he's a pretty remarkable person. And Laura did a beautiful interview with him where he talks about his escape from Tibet, walking, I think, barefoot out of.
He was
barefoot walking across the mountains in winter, escaping the Chinese.
As a child,
he was like 9 years old,
8 or something.
And so his experiences as a nomad, as a yak herder. His family were yak herders, and he talks about the change in his life and the way that his world completely turned upside down, and what he did with that experience.
And he tells some beautiful stories that he remembers of being a nomad, of the Tibetan culture when it was nomadic, and what life was like then, and it's, and that life is gone for the Tibetans in Tibet now, but it's really beautiful, lovely memories. And so that actually is the next podcast episode that will be up very soon.
He talks about the yaks, the way that they keep themselves warm when there are heavy snows. He said as soon as it starts snowing, they find a dry spot and they stay there as long as the snow is falling. And as the snow builds up and gets to their chests, to their heads, they put their nose up and they keep breathing warm air so that they can keep a sort of chimney going. And so that there'll be, like, you'll see these lumps, and then you'll see at the top a little hole.
Yeah, you'll just see the holes. He said they would wake up in the morning and come out of their tent, and they would just see these holes all around, and then they'd go, cha, 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 cha. And all the yaks would all get up and shake off the snow. But he tells a story, and
sorry, I had to tell it. He tells it better than I do.
Well, he tells more detail. Yeah, but it's a beautiful story, and he's just beautiful. And one of the wonderful things about having Geshe La here for that event, he's so dedicated to he's just a tireless advocate for the disenfranchised and the poor, and it's very moving. And so we're honored to be able to help, and I want to thank the Sacred Stream community for contributing and helping us raise money for this particular project, which is, it's a nunnery in a remote region of Nepal that they are building,
expanding.
They're expanding to be able to be a place of refuge for women and girls, women and children who are escaping abusive situations and like child trafficking, but also there's some other problems so that people are in need of help with. And so they don't have to become nuns. They get education, they get housing, they get fed. And we are so happy that Sacred Stream can be part of that. And we will continue to be part of that. And we actually spoke with Geshe La yesterday, and he has promised to send us some photos of the place and some updated information, and we will get that on our website so that you can actually, if you want to support that program.
You can make a donation anytime, and we'll make sure that it gets. The wonderful thing is there's no middleman with the donations, so it goes directly to him. So
but we'll have more information for that, because we really want to. This project, one of the things when he was here that we were talking to him about was that he was concerned because he's in his 70s and he just had a really terrible bout with dengue fever, and it didn't look good for a while there, and that was as recent as October. And he's back at it, of course. He was back at it in October, and
pulled out the IV and got on the plane.
basically he did. And but his concern was, will it outlive him? Will it? What will happen after he dies? And so we are committed, along with many of his students and friends.
He has communities all over the world. And we're trying to create a network so that we can keep keep the funding going for all of the projects that he's created over the last 40 years. So anyway, that's an exciting thing.
Yeah. And and I had another really very recent lovely guest who is also going to come, and we're doing an online book event with, and that's let me reach over to my props, Lorna Byrne. And I just was so taken with her. And she's written a book. She's written about 11 books. She's a best-selling author, an international best-selling author, but she's a fascinating character, fascinating person. And the book is Angels in My Hair, the true story of a modern day Irish mystic. And her story is really fascinating. And I'll show you the book. I will say our Clementine, who helps us with the podcast, listened to it on audio and read it. And she said it was just fantastic. So, but she's very inspiring, and we'll be giving, I think it is March 4th. So we don't have that up yet on the board. We have to get all of the details together, but it'll be March 4th. It's a Saturday. I believe it's 10 a.m. Pacific time. And it'll be online, so people in Europe and all over the world can watch. And if you can't be there live, then we'll probably have it available after too. So.
And if you can be there live, come to the Sacred Stream Center. As long as the pandemic is abated a bit, we will always be social distancing with masks and with air purifiers, and we do everything we can to keep the environment safe. But we have spent the last year, talking about what we've done over the last year, finishing up doing the restoration of the beautiful stained glass. And finishing up the painting that we did inside and out. So while we haven't had classes there, we've been taking advantage of the time to refurbish and
to keep, this 100-year-old building that always needs work.
that has so much spirit and so much life to it. And it's really a magical place. So really excited to be able to share it in person again with people.
Yeah. And we have, I just wanted again to welcome folks and invite everybody to like and subscribe. If you subscribe, you're just helping us, reach more people. And Andrea Foote is here and said she really loved the interview and the book, Lorna Byrne's book. Blown away by her story, and so appreciate you bringing her to our awareness. Well, Andrea, thank you for being like a longtime listener of the podcast. I really appreciate your feedback, and just want to take the opportunity to say, we love feedback. Please give us feedback. Give us
especially
feedback.
if it's good feedback.
That's kind of implied, but thank you for clarifying that. I mean, just. I'd like to hear what you like what's speaking to you on the podcast and with our videos and Issa's videos, and what you'd like more of, because that really helps us. And sometimes it feels like I'm a little bit in a vacuum with the podcast. I'm like, is anybody out there, especially the audio podcast? I know we have a lot of listeners, but like everybody's so quiet, so so I'd love to hear from you, and maybe these lives are a way to one way to do it, or the comment section on YouTube is another way to do it. So
so we have some classes coming up, some new classes coming up this year that I'm excited to talk about. Did you want to talk about something else before that?
I wanted to just say, while we're on the subject of books, I just wanted to also say here on although I'm going through my props kind of quickly here, but Issa has a couple of books, so I thought I'd bring these up. But Coming to Peace and The New Return of the Great Mother.
Yeah, if you're looking for stocking stuffers, but if you're looking for people that you have conflict with, Coming to Peace is a great stocking stuffer.
But they're really lovely books, really great books. So good to do. Oh, and Kim Justice, thank you for being a first time on Sacred Stream. And I'm sorry I made the assumption that you were a woman, and you are in fact a gentleman. And thank you for correcting me. I appreciate that. And I am really delighted that you were here. So, and just curious, where are you from? Would love to know, and would love to know where people are from, if you want to include that.
That's the wonderful thing when we're online, that we can have this circle that extends so far around the world. I mean, that's really an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And I know, we have now with our classes, I mean, that was one of the amazing things about the pandemic, is that we were suddenly encircled with people in South Africa and Singapore and Hong Kong and France and Germany. It's wonderful to, I think we really have expanded our worlds. And I'm looking forward to teaching everyone around the world, whoever wants to listen or learn. I'm going to be offering a new class that's on demand. We have a new series of classes that you can audit when you want to. And this one will be on intention. And so I'm hoping that we'll get that up early in the year, so you can set your intentions for the new year. I have a sort of a pretty good formula that works when there's some meditations that you work on, where you're looking at your relationship to time and space. And then I have a whole series step by step of what you can do to be sure to have a clear intention and to be able to support it properly. One of the problems that I think we have with setting intention is that we often don't realize how we're forming that intention, or what motivation is driving the intention. And so we'll spend some time really kind of looking at that, and looking forward to offering that to you, so you can take it whenever you like. And
we have a lovely kind of prelude to that. That's an audio called Introduction to Setting Intention.
That's already in the store.
So, I'll mention that, we do have an online store at Sacred Stream. It just has some helpful things. Use of space clearing sprays,
on sale, which is on sale for the holidays.
Well, we have a holiday sale going on. Pretty much everything's on sale. But there are a lot of downloads, like meditation downloads and class things you can, online classes, we online training type things that you can, lectures and things that you can download.
And you can get a bag. You can get Botanicals bag.
And books, and there's something else I was going to say. And we have some lovely. We did some projects when the monks of God in Chartres were here, living here in this room. We had a group of.
They made this altar, and we've kept it.
Yes,
we've kept it.
Yes, we shouldn't block it.
We shouldn't block it,
but we are.
We're trying to get on camera.
Yeah. So, so the monks, we sponsored a year-long tour. It was to raise money. They had lost everything, actually, this particular group. And we were working with His Holiness the Dalai Lama's primary interpreter, Thupten Jinpa, and doing this tour. It was a really wonderful experience for us. It was a lot of work, but it was a beautiful cultural exchange. And they lived here with us for almost for a year, and traveled around the country, and we set up events and things like that. So, but while they were here, we recorded an album that's called The Sacred Chants of Tibet. And there are actually two. We did a one of mantras where the monks are reciting mantras, and then the other are these beautiful, beautiful chanting music by the monks. And we were able to record in Mills College, and I'm forgetting the name of the auditorium. It's very famous because the design of it is so remarkable. It's famous for its design as a
sound,
for sound, and it was just beautiful. So we have that in the store as well and on sale. So that was a bird that just hit the window. Wow. So we have a lot of those things going on. What else? What other classes are you?
I'm excited. I've got a couple of classes that I'm offering for people who are interested in Buddhism. I've recorded the Psychology of the Bodhisattva, which will be something that you can take when you want to as well. You can audit it when you like, and we will also have the in-person meetings later in the year, or maybe at the beginning of 2024. But it will be up on the board, and you can take it and really kind of understand more about what a bodhisattva is. You may have seen on the YouTube channel, I did a series of videos about bodhisattvas in training, just really trying to understand what our path is in this lifetime in terms of helping others, and understanding, the depth of the bodhisattva experience, wherein, you take a vow that, once you've sort of gotten, I know myself, I feel like I've just barely got a grip, coming out of the manhole, okay, I think I've got my head above water for a minute. Like, is there anybody else I can help get their head above water, And so this is something that, it's a complex and deep path, and it has many deeper teachings that the path opens, that only a path dedicated to service can. So I'm looking forward to having that available for people to kind of refine their commitments, refine their intentions, in being of service. And also, I'm going to have another more advanced, well, not super advanced. I mean, you have to take some basic classes, the Entering the Stream and the Enlightened Mind class and the Psychology of the Bodhisattva class. So you have to take a few classes to get there. But I wanted to teach this class, and it's by public demand. There's been a lot of clamoring for this class for me to teach it again. And so,
which class?
This is the Alchemy of Enlightenment.
Oh, great!
So it's a very esoteric practice that is also very practical, and that you can really change your relationship to your negative emotions in a very profound way. So, so there's a lot happening on the Buddhist side this year, including Khenso Rinpoche and his teachings. And do you want to talk about Khenso Rinpoche?
Oh boy! I mean, I don't even know how to talk about Khenso Rinpoche. He's a very well. I mean, just as a human being, he's just a beautiful, remarkable man. And he's a very accomplished Tibetan teacher, and is very high up in the hierarchy
of the Gelug school.
And he was appointed the abbot of Gyoto Monastery. So now he is Khenso Rinpoche. And since stepping down as the abbot, and the Gyoto is the big school where all of the...
It's the preeminent tantric monastery. There's two preeminent tantric monasteries, and that's one of them. And he spent 6 years, 3 years as a vice abbot and 3 years as the abbot of that school. He's truly in charge of the higher education for all of the geshes. People have already received their geshe degree.
All of the higher lamas, all of the Dalai Lamas would be trained there, and there's only one at a time. But when it's
or the tutors that teach at Kyoto would be the tutors that would be teaching the Dalai Lama or the Panchen Lama traditionally, historically. Sure. So he is now teaching lay people.
Yeah.
And he's going to teach us.
Yeah, he is really a teacher here for us at Sacred Stream. And we've been in talks with him about how to, is he going to come out here? He lives in Italy and has a sangha there. And we were working with Thupten Jinpa also on this project. And so we have something, it's not totally ready to go, but we are recording it now as it's in process right now. But Thupten Jinpa has a really big book that's coming out that he's asked Khenso Rinpoche to teach from.
It's a book on all the Gelug teachings he's gathered. I mean, the wonderful thing about Thupten Jinpa is that he has preserved so many of the Tibetan classics and translated so many of them, and he has translated the major part of the Gelug canon. And the Mahamudra teachings are the teachings in particular that that Khenso Rinpoche will be teaching. And it's really a big deal. I mean, we get to receive teachings from someone who has taught some of the most erudite minds in Tibetan Buddhism. So
it's really, it's
exciting.
It's exciting. It will unfold. It'll probably be, happening over the summer, in reality. And Tupten Jinpa will come and do a first class. And then Isa will be in charge of Khyentse Rinpoche speaks English and Italian, but he would like to teach and do the transmission of the teachings in Tibetan. And then it will be translated, and Isa will be reading from that translation. So it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be it's new for us and quite lovely.
Something fun to look forward to in 2023.
Yeah, and Geshe Pema Dorje is going. We've talked to him about doing some regular teaching with us, so he is on board for that too. So we've got a lot going on. Nicholas Clay, hello. He said the bird that hit our window couldn't break in, so it stole a car.
Oh, no.
Curious to imagine whose reincarnated spirit that was.
Yeah, interesting to think about.
Who was wanting in? Who wanted in?
I don't know. We have so many birds in the garden. We have, we had a Cooper's hawk out there the other morning, and we have owls that are starting to hoot. It's pretty exciting. And of course, we have there's this beautiful little black and yellow small bird. It's called a Townsend's warbler. And we call it Townsend. It comes in the winter and leaves in the spring. But it's always so fun to see it arrive at the bird feeder, and So anyway, that's who's in the garden.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Kim Justice said that he did a hypnotherapy session some years ago and did a past life regression. With the intention of the most important life for this time, which is an excellent way to do that. And was taken to 1878 as a teacher. Mm-hmm. So curious as to what that lifetime was showing you, what you were learning by going back to that lifetime, and what it's showing you about this lifetime.
That's so interesting, because right now I'm listening to Abraham Lincoln's speeches.
Oh, lovely.
And listening to the audio of some of his writings, and that's just about, that's what he was doing. A lot of his speeches, especially, of course, just a little bit earlier than that. I mean, he died. We don't know when he died, but to listen to the kind of discourse and thought that was happening at that time, at least in the United States, especially around the issues of the Civil War and, whether or not the Confederacy, whether or not the states were going to hold, and his musings about that is so relevant for today. So I'm sure that I imagine that you have found some kind of relevance in those teachings for your work today in the world. It's that was quite a time.
We're revisiting.
Yes,
as in the Pluto return, which makes me think of the podcast, which makes me think of Hogarth. And so, if any of you have seen my interview with Hogarth Brown, Vedic astrologer, who was a really, really lovely guy and a lot of fun, and he talks about the United States Pluto return and all that entails. But
which is one of the reasons why we're revisiting the whole issue of states' rights versus federal rights. It's all was so forefront.
Yeah.
Right.
And and on that note, we'll have Hogarth back at the beginning of the year to kind of give a little preview of what to expect in 2023, because it's always fun when he's on the show. And and I've got another prop. This is our friend Barbara Higbee.
Oh, yes, Barbara Higbee.
So Barbara Higbee's new album is it's called Presence, and it's part of a trilogy. It's stunning, just beautiful instrumental music, just very, very deep, calming, very meditative, just in the nature of it. She's a Grammy nominated artist, has been in the industry for a long time, doing beautiful work. She's played on everybody's albums, from Santana to whoever. And she's a beautiful, she plays many instruments, but she's a beautiful pianist and violinist, which she's playing here on this album, along with there's cello and acoustic guitar and percussion. And it's just gorgeous. Highly recommend that. And if you're in the area, she has a solstice concert with a huge band, like an all-star band at the Freight and Salvage in Berkeley, California. So I'm just going to give a plug and a shout out to Barbara. And playing in that band is Jamie Sieber, also another podcast guest and dear friend who is an electric cellist and has an album out as well. So all great ideas
for stocking stuffers,
for your holiday gift giving, and also just for your own personal musical experience. And while I'm on that note, Cody, I don't know if we can do this, but if you can, I'm a musician, and I was a professional musician for many years. Many people know that, but I have a holiday song, and why don't we just give that away? So it's called "It's Christmas Baby," and if you want your own copy of that, and you would like to have that as your own little gift for tuning in today, hopefully Cody can make it free in the store and just give a little link, and we'll just keep it free. Just keep it free because I like it's nice.
It's such a great song. It's very uplifting.
It's fun. Well, the short story on that song is, I got a call from the record label. They were putting together a compilation CD for Christmas some years ago, and they said, "We've got one spot. You've got it, but you've only got 3 weeks to get us something. We don't care what it is." Like, wow, okay. Michael McDonald from the Doobie Brothers is on there. Otmar Liebert's on there. Craig Chiquiso from Jefferson Airplane is on there. So I was like, yeah, I got to do something. And the theme was Holiday at the Beach. And one of the producers of it is out of Monterey. So I wrote a thematic song, recorded, and delivered within 3 weeks. So that is the song. It's Christmas,
it's a great
baby.
Song. It's Christmas, baby.
Well, so I think I've gone through all of my props.
Okay. Well, one thing that I would like to talk about is our year-end fundraiser.
Yeah.
And, we've talked about raising funds for other organizations, which we do, regularly throughout the year. But, we are, as I say, we're really trying to expand. We have a much bigger student body than we have had going into the sort of international world. And one of the issues is that people in other countries have, many of them have an unfavorable exchange rate on their currency against the US dollar with everything that's happening in the global markets. And so we have committed to trying to give scholarships to people so that they can be able to access the teaching within their own economy.
Well, that's
at the
true.
Same scale within the US economy.
Well, that's one of the things that we do.
That's one of the things that we do.
We also have that is a big important part.
That's important because we want to really, bring the global community into all of the work that we do here at the Sacred Stream. And then
when we give other scholarships to, it's a big undertaking, and we really want to make sure this is available to as many people as possible. And we're small grassroots organization. Yeah, we're trying to keep our doors open in the sense that we have this beautiful center in Berkeley that's essentially we have to maintain and keep going, and that's essentially
sacred space. We're holding sacred space
but that doesn't have any income generating at the moment. We used to rent it, but it's so we're coming back from the COVID thing, but that anything helps, and we have some lovely gifts for our end of year fundraiser. So we, like many nonprofits, are raising funds to continue to do what we do, which is also producing podcast episodes and free videos and lots of free content and maintaining sacred space, as Issa says, and just to keep doing what we do. And I want to just take another moment to thank everybody for being here and to joining us and in our little community experiment, our little YouTube community experiment. And again, if you give us a like and a subscribe and make a comment, all of that is really helpful to us reaching more people and hopefully, bringing some holiday cheer.
And if you want to make a donation, I just want to talk about the scholarship fund that is the Marlo Salazar Scholarship Fund. Mm-hmm. And Marlo was one of our first depth hypnosis practitioners, and she was Latina woman, a single mother of 2 daughters, lovely daughters, and she died very prematurely.
Very young.
She had so much dedication to the work, and we decided that we would have this scholarship fund in her name, and we've been granting scholarships to people of color, to single mothers, to people who or single parents, not just single mothers, but to people who would
seniors.
We do a lot of
everybody it's available for everyone.
It's for everyone, but we really try to again create this inclusion,
reach communities that may not have as easy access to this kind of work.
Right. Yeah. So please feel free to donate if you feel drawn to. It's very much appreciated.
Yeah.
And we do have some good gifts.
Yeah, we do. We do. Well, you saw the botanical bag.
Yeah.
And the other exciting thing that we have happening is 2023 is our 20th anniversary of being the Sacred Stream. Yeah. So we created the Sacred Stream in 2003. And so here we are 20 years later on YouTube Live, of all things. But we're really excited about that.
We're going to be celebrating all year. I'm taking measurements to see how we can put a banner over the front door.
And also, Isa, we have another book coming out. And we will be having a special event for that at some point.
We'll be doing a YouTube Live for that.
We'll do a YouTube Live. We'll do a book event at the center.
Yeah. It's on depth hypnosis. Yeah. So and hopefully it's going to make everyone, depth hypnosis is so difficult to understand, at the beginning, like, what is this? And, Laura's done a lot of work, helping edit it and kind of distill it and do fresh, clean writing to help people really understand. So it's really a collaboration that we're going to be bringing forward, and it's going to be exciting. It's it's been 20 years in the writing. I mean, I've been trying to. I found that manuscript that was 2004.
Yeah.
So
it's time. It's time. But and we're excited about that.
Yes.
So. Yeah, and so we're excited for all of the things that are coming in 2023, and I think we're feeling, as always, positive, maintaining, as we are all navigating the weather, as it were, the changes, the constant shifting of the global sands. We find within ourselves and within community this place of support and stability, and so we'll continue to do that and continue to be here. And
nothing like consciousness to stabilize you
and to freak you out. No,
I think we're good. Anybody have any questions or anything before we sign off?
Any thoughts for the
thoughts for the new year?
How about you? Any thoughts for the new year? Wait, Kim, hold on.
Okay.
Kim has something. With many details, it was amazing to see what she wrote out, what I was wearing, my personal life, but what I got from it, I'm really doing and teaching spiritual things. So that was back to the past life regression. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
In the depth hypnosis book, we talk extensively about past lives and the context of how to hold them, because not everyone believes in them, and you don't have to believe in them. They bring, it's a way of the consciousness bringing, the psyche bringing information forward, and so you can relate to it how you want to relate to it. And so we go very much into detail about regressions of all kinds, past life, age, Bardo, and prenatal regressions, and a host of other things in the book. It's exciting. It's really fascinating work, regression work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in terms of myself, I think for me, the coming years, 20 years of the Sacred Stream, that we've dedicated our lives to trying to educate and, bring awareness, help people heal trauma, and help people expand their understandings about themselves and the world. And I rejoice that we've had all of this time to participate and to work with one another. And I'm also really excited about the depth hypnosis book. As I say, it has been 20 years in the making. So it's just wonderful that it's going to be here and that we'll have it to share with everyone. So that's what I'm looking forward to in 2023. Yeah. So how about you?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I feel a lot of new things on the horizon. I feel like the last few years I know I personally and we collectively, and the folks all the folks who, the staff at Sacred Stream, like Cody and Sherry and, Katie and Clem and Wyatt, all these people who do so much work and to keep us going. I know we've been focused on, maintaining and transforming, because we had to do so much transformation as an organization. And you did too, just in the platforms and the way that we teach, going from completely in person to completely online. And how do you teach some of this material online? And so, it's been a few years of doing that. And now we've done that. And I'm feeling like that the majority of that work, we're able to move into a new place. And I don't know what that is exactly, but I feel it. And I'm very excited about that. And it feels very creative. And I'm looking forward to a lot more creativity, a lot of joy, a lot of fun, a lot of time shared with people, with friends, and with people who do with like intention of doing good in the world and, living a good life, productive life. So that's my 2023.
Here's to 2023, here's to 2022, and here's to you.
And I'll just say, Jim, I try. So excited about the new book. Thank you for the work you do. Thank you, Kim. It's going to be wonderful to have a book, especially after taking the course and doing the work. Thank you so much for creating this for all of us. I'm very excited. Thank you for your wonderful Sacred Stream. Thank you. And thank you for being part of Sacred Stream. We really, really appreciate you. And wow, this was fun. Thank you.
We'll do this again.
We had no idea when we were going to show up. So let's do this again.
Okay.
All right. May you have very happy holidays, very peaceful, restorative time. May you have what you need.
Yes. May everyone have what they need.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone.
Until next time.